We asked my husband's family to watch our dog for a weekend. When we came back, they'd renamed him, bought him a collar with their last name, and taught him to bark at me. His mom said he just picks up on energy. I said, he's not the only one. So this happened last fall, but I still think about it almost every day. I've told a few close friends, but this is the first time I'm putting the whole story out there. I still don't know what to do, and it's been eating at me. For context, my husband, Mark, and I live in Durham, North Carolina. We've been married for 5 years. We don't have kids, but we do have a golden retriever named Max. Max is our baby. We adopted him from a shelter when he was a puppy, and he's been with us for 3 years now. Max is sweet, playful, and incredibly well-behaved. We trained him ourselves, took him to classes, and spent a lot of time building trust. He listens to us, knows over a dozen commands, and loves snuggling on the couch. I stay at home more often than Mark does, so naturally, Max and I have a strong bond. I'm his person. He follows me everywhere. A few months back, Mark planned a surprise weekend trip to Asheville for my birthday. Just the two of us. Romantic, outdoorsy, relaxing. The only issue? We couldn't take Max with us, and our usual dog sitter was unavailable. Mark suggested we ask his parents. They live in Charlotte, a few hours away. I was hesitant. Not because I don't trust them entirely, but because his mom has a weird thing with boundaries. She's the type who insists on calling herself Mama to other people's kids and once told me she wished Max had been her dog. It was supposed to be a compliment, but it stuck with me. Mark thought I was overthinking it. It's just a weekend, he said. They'll love the time with him. So I gave in. Friday morning, we dropped Max off with his leash, his toys, his bed, and his blue collar with the ID tag. I also included a full sheet of instructions. Feeding schedule, potty times, commands he knows, and what he's allowed to eat. I even wrote, "Please don't change his routine too much," in bold. When we got there, Mark's mom, Patricia, was overly excited to see Max. She hugged him like a child and said things like, "My grandbaby is here," which I just laughed off awkwardly. We said our goodbyes, I kissed Max on the head, and we drove off. Fast forward to Sunday afternoon. We had a great trip. Mark was in a good mood, and I was relaxed. We called Patricia before leaving to say we'd be there in a few hours. She was cheerful and said, "He's been such a good boy. He loves it here." But when we pulled into their driveway, I knew something was wrong. Max was in the front yard playing with Patricia. But he looked different. Not physically, but something felt off. His tail wagged when he saw us, but not like he usually does. He didn't run to me. He just stood there for a second, then slowly walked over. And that's when I saw the collar. It was bright red, not his blue one. And when I leaned down to check the tag, I felt my chest tighten. It said, Buddy Johnson. For a second, I thought it was a mistake. Maybe someone gave them the wrong collar. But then Patricia walked over and said, "Doesn't he look so handsome in red?" He really took to the name Buddy. It just suits him better, don't you think? I didn't know what to say. I was still staring at the tag, trying to make sense of it. Why does it say Johnson? I asked. Oh, well, you know. It's just our little joke. He's been with us all weekend. He's part of the Johnson family now, she laughed. That's not funny, I said quietly. Mark, to his credit, looked uncomfortable too. Mom, why'd you change his name? She shrugged. He seemed to like it. Every time we called him Buddy, he came right away. Didn't you, Buddy? She cooed, scratching behind his ears. Max, or Buddy, I guess, wagged his tail and leaned into her. He knows his name, I said. His name is Max. He's always known it. That's what we trained him with. Patricia waved her hand. Oh, dogs are adaptable. He's a smart boy. He picks up on energy. I didn't say anything. I just took the leash from her and clipped it onto the red collar. I didn't see the blue one anywhere. His bed and toys were still in their living room, but they were mixed in with things I didn't recognize, new toys, different treats, and even a little nameplate that said, Buddy Spot. I was feeling nauseous. In the car, Max sat in the back seat like he always did. But when I reached back to pet him, he looked away. Not mean, not scared, just confused. I tried saying Max a few times, but he didn't respond like he usually would. That night was hard. He didn't want to come into our bed. He stayed in the hallway. When I called him, he just looked at me blankly. When Mark called him Buddy, he perked up. I wanted to scream. Over the next few days, I worked nonstop to get things back to normal. I used his name constantly. I showed him his old toys. I took him to the park, the same one we've gone to since he was a puppy. Slowly, things started to shift. He began to respond to Max again, but he also still responded to Buddy. And here's the part that really breaks my heart. For the first time ever, he barked at me. I was walking into the kitchen, and he let out a short, startled bark. It stopped me cold. I didn't yell. I didn't do anything weird. I just walked in. But his reaction made me feel like a stranger in my own home. Mark called his mom that night. I was too upset to talk. He asked about the bark. You know what she said? Oh, he probably senses something. Dogs pick up on energy. Maybe she's stressed. No apology. No accountability. Just vibes. I asked Mark if he thought his mom did something to Max, like on purpose. He said no, but I saw the doubt in his eyes. So now here I am. Our dog is confused. My relationship with my mother-in-law is wrecked, and I don't know how to fix it. I feel like someone tried to erase me from my dog's life, like I'm being replaced by a better version of a pet mom. We haven't visited them since. Patricia sends texts asking how Buddy is doing. I don't respond. A week went by, and things weren't getting better. Max was still acting weird. He'd follow me around like usual, but he'd flinch sometimes when I raised my arm, like if I was reaching for a cupboard or brushing my hair back. It wasn't every time, but just enough that I noticed. It didn't feel like my Max anymore. It felt like I was house-sitting someone else's dog. Mark kept saying, he just needs time. It was only a weekend. But I could feel something in my gut. This wasn't normal. Then Patricia started calling. At first, it was every other day, just asking about Max. Except she never called him Max. Just, Buddy. How's Buddy sleeping? Did Buddy eat all his lamb snacks? Buddy always loved it when we brushed him before bed. We never brushed him before bed. I stopped answering her calls, and she started texting. Pictures of dog toys. Pictures of dogs that looked like Max. At one point she texted, our little Buddy misses his Nana. Bet he'd love to come visit again. That was the last straw for me. I told Mark to make it stop. He called her. I listened from the hallway. Mom, stop calling him Buddy. His name is Max. No, we're not bringing him back there. That's not happening. Because he's our dog, Mom. The call lasted 5 minutes. When he came out, he looked exhausted. She doesn't think she did anything wrong, he said. She's upset now. Says she feels like we're cutting her out of the family. I said, this has nothing to do with family. She tried to take our dog. He nodded, but he didn't say anything else. I wish that was the end. But it wasn't. The next Saturday afternoon, we were home watching TV. Mark had gone out to get groceries. I was on the couch, Max lying near my feet. He seemed calm that day. I thought we were finally turning a corner. Then the doorbell rang. I opened the door. It was Patricia. I didn't invite her in. She walked in anyway. She was holding a collapsible dog crate, the kind people use when they're moving dogs long distances. My stomach dropped. Hi, sweetie, she said like nothing was wrong. I was in the area and figured I'd swing by and grab Buddy for a quick visit. Just the night. My voice came out cold. His name is Max. And no. She tilted her head. Oh, come on. Don't be like that. He loved staying with us. Didn't you, Buddy? She said, crouching down and reaching for him. Max didn't move. He just watched her. He didn't run over. He didn't bark. He just stared. Back away, I said, louder now. Patricia stood up slowly. He's my grandson. I have every right. No, you don't, I snapped. You don't have any right. She narrowed her eyes. Mark won't like you doing this. You're making a mess of things. I will call the police, I said. She didn't believe me. So I picked up my phone and started dialing. She turned around and walked out. Didn't say goodbye. Didn't slam the door. Just walked back to her car, crate in hand, like this was just a minor hiccup. When Mark came back 10 minutes later, I told him everything. He looked pale. She brought a crate? I nodded. She was going to take him. He didn't even ask if I was sure. He knew. He saw it too now. Later that night, we installed a security camera on our front porch. I changed my phone password. I moved Max's vet file into a locked cabinet. And then I found something that made everything worse. I was updating Max's microchip info. We use one of those pet tracking websites, just in case something ever happened. When I logged in, I got an error. Owner information cannot be edited at this time. I contacted support. Turns out, someone had recently updated the info and listed Patricia Johnson as the primary contact. She had used her address, her phone number, and changed the emergency vet to a clinic in Charlotte. I sat at the kitchen table, shaking. This wasn't just a joke anymore. She was playing a long game. I called the microchip company and had them restore our contact information. I had to send them Max's adoption papers, vet bills, and a photo of me holding him with the date written on a piece of paper. It took 4 days. Mark was furious. I'll talk to her, he said. But this time I said no. She already thinks this is her dog. You talking to her just feeds that fantasy. We went no contact that night. Blocked her on our phones. Blocked her email. Told his dad what happened, and his dad quietly said, I'll handle it. We didn't hear from her for a few weeks. Then the anonymous notes started arriving in our mailbox. Plain white envelopes. Inside were printed photos of Max in her house. Max in her backyard. Max laying next to her slippers. No note. No return address. Just the photos. I knew it was her. And that's when I realized something. She didn't just love Max. She was obsessed with him. Like she was trying to rewrite history and pretend we were the ones who gave him to her. Like she thought if she did enough, said it enough, owned enough stuff, that somehow it would be true. She was trying to erase me. And maybe even erase us. It had been about a month since we cut Patricia off. No texts. No calls. No more surprise visits. The creepy photo letters had stopped too, or so we thought. I was starting to relax again. Max was acting like his old self more and more each day. He'd sit by me while I worked, follow me from room to room, even sleep curled up on the edge of our bed again. That weird blank look he'd had for weeks was finally fading. Then December rolled in. We were getting ready for Christmas, and a pile of cards from friends and coworkers showed up in our mailbox. I flipped through them while sipping coffee one morning, the usual stuff. Snowflakes, family portraits, photos of toddlers dressed like reindeer. And then I froze. A red envelope with a gold sticker on the back. I opened it and nearly dropped my coffee. It was a full-sized photo card, the kind people send when they want to show off their family. There were 4 people in the picture: Mark's mom, Mark's dad, his sister, and Max, wearing the red collar. The caption under the photo said, "Merry Christmas from the Johnsons. Patricia, Bill, Sarah, and Buddy." My hands were shaking. I called Mark in. He stared at the card for a solid 10 seconds. Then he whispered, "She sent this to everyone." And she did. That afternoon, Mark got a call from his cousin. She said, "I thought you gave Buddy to your mom full-time now? Didn't realize she kept him." Someone else texted me, saying how nice it was that we let Patricia keep Max since she'd clearly bonded with him. No one knew the real story, because she never told them. She made it look like we'd given her Max. Like it was official. I was furious. I wanted to call everyone and set the record straight. But Mark said we needed to think it through. That maybe telling everyone would just feed into her drama. Then something even worse happened. 1 week before Christmas, I got a call from Max's vet. A tech asked if I had come in recently to update his records. I said no. She said, "Well, someone did. She said she was your mother-in-law and that you asked her to update everything. We even updated his food allergy note to beef because she said you were giving him new treats." I nearly screamed. Max is allergic to beef. It makes him break out in hives. We never changed that. The tech apologized over and over. She said Patricia seemed very confident and calm. She even had Max's microchip number and our old address, which she used to prove her connection. I was absolutely losing it. We went back to the clinic in person and had them restore the original files. I printed out proof of ownership. I had the vet put a hard flag on Max's file: do not change records unless owner is present with photo ID. We even moved Max's file to another vet across town just to be safe. That night, I couldn't sleep. I was spiraling. Because here's what I realized: this woman wasn't just obsessed. She was building a world where she was Max's rightful owner. A world where Mark and I were just temporary. Like we were the foster parents and she was the forever home. It was terrifying. And we didn't know what else she'd try. And then we found the Facebook post. One of Mark's coworkers texted him a screenshot of Patricia's Facebook page. She had posted an album titled Meet Buddy, with over 20 photos of Max from the weekend she kept him. In the caption, she wrote, "We weren't planning to adopt, but sometimes the right pup just finds you. This beautiful boy joined our family this summer. He's loyal, gentle, and oh so lovable. We feel so blessed to have found him." There were likes, comments, people saying things like, "Oh my God, he's gorgeous. Buddy looks so happy with y'all. Lucky dog to find such a loving home." Someone even commented, "Wait, wasn't he your son's dog?" She replied, "They were just fostering him temporarily. He needed a more stable home." It was meant to be. That comment had over 50 likes. Mark was speechless. He didn't even know what to do. I was done. I was absolutely done. I started collecting everything: screenshots of the post, copies of the photos she mailed, the altered vet records, the chip ownership changes. I backed up emails, got timestamped texts. I was building a file like it was a legal case. Because now, it was more than just disrespect. It was character assassination. She was trying to steal our dog and make it look like we were the ones who gave him away. And people were believing her. That's when I decided to fight back. After seeing that Facebook post, I snapped. I didn't scream. I didn't text her some long message. I didn't call to demand she take it down. Instead, I made a folder on my desktop called Proof and filled it with everything I had. Screenshots, emails, voicemails, the vet's written statement about her trying to change Max's file, photos of Max with us going back to the day we adopted him, the adoption contract, even a selfie of me in the shelter lobby holding puppy Max with the handwritten date on the wall behind me. I wasn't going to argue. I was going to prove. Every single person who commented on her post, I messaged them directly, nicely, calmly, just the facts. I said, "Hi, I noticed you commented on Patricia Johnson's post about a dog named Buddy. I just wanted to clear up a serious misunderstanding. That dog's name is Max. My husband and I adopted him 3 years ago. We asked Patricia to watch him for 2 days while we went on a short trip. She changed his name, tried to claim ownership, altered his vet records without our consent, and even attempted to take him from our home. She has been spreading false information online." Attached is a folder of evidence, including adoption documents, messages, and timestamps. I would appreciate you knowing the full truth. I didn't ask them to do anything. Just read. Then I sent the same message to every cousin, aunt, friend, neighbor, church buddy, and coworker I could find. I didn't hold back. And the best part? She had no idea it was coming. By the next morning, her Facebook post was gone. Deleted. Not just the post, her whole profile vanished. Mark got a message from his cousin. "Dude, what the hell is going on with your mom? She's losing it in the family group chat." Apparently, she was melting down, saying people were attacking her, that I had twisted the story, and that it was all a misunderstanding blown out of proportion. But no one bought it, because I didn't twist anything. I had proof. Then the final twist came, and it didn't even come from me. We found out later that Patricia had used photos of Max in the community newsletter in her neighborhood, promoting pet adoption, events, and featuring Buddy Johnson as a happy rescue story. Problem is, the HOA president lives a few houses down from us. After hearing the real story from someone we sent the proof folder to, the HOA started looking into whether Patricia had violated community rules, especially since she claimed the dog was hers in published material. One rule? You can't own more than one large dog in their neighborhood. Patricia already had a German Shepherd. So technically, Max would have made her in violation of the HOA's two-pet limit for her lot size. She got fined. Hard. $300 per week for false registry, plus public retraction in the newsletter. She tried to argue it, claimed we gave her Max. The HOA president responded with a printed copy of our adoption paperwork. Mark's dad called a few days later, quietly. She's embarrassed, he said. She's staying at her sister's house for a while. We didn't say much. He apologized. And for once, it felt real. Max never fully went back to how he was before. There's still a bit of him that hesitates when the doorbell rings. He's jumpier around new people now. Doesn't let anyone pet him unless he sees them with me first. But he's mine again. He sleeps beside me every night. He watches me cook. He cuddles up to me when it rains. That's all I care about. As for Patricia, she still hasn't apologized. We've cut contact completely. Mark made the call himself. Told her she's not welcome in our home and not welcome near Max. Not until she owns up to what she did and gets help. I'll admit something. I made a mistake, too. I should have trusted my gut from the beginning. I knew she was the type to blur boundaries. I knew she saw Max as more than just a pet. And I let it happen anyway, because I didn't want to make drama or upset the family. That was my failure. And I own it. Never again. You don't let someone borrow your dog if you know they secretly think he's theirs. You don't give people like that a second to get inside your life. Because once they're in, they try to take it all.